So if you're someone who is trying to manage your weight better and want to focus on balanced eating healthier, eating more nutrient-rich foods, in today's video, I'm going to share 10 nutrient-dense items that I buy from Walmart for weight management. One item that I tend to get often from Walmart is kimchi. I was never really into kimchi. I didn't really start eating kimchi until about almost like I think last year was when I really started having kimchi more. And I only really got kimchi because I wanted to increase more gut health foods into my diet. And for the most part, I was mainly just having yogurt. But I found that I wasn't always eating yogurt every day and I wanted some variety of some other type of food. So I decided to buy the kimchi. And at first, I really didn't know how to incorporate it into my diet. So one thing that I was just doing was just nibbling on it. So if I was like about to make food or I was a little bit hungry, I would just go inside the container and then just take a couple of bites of the kimchi and call it a day. And it wasn't until I was trying to figure out what to have for breakfast that I saw a combination for scrambled eggs and kimchi. And I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. And from that point on, I finally figured out how to have kimchi. I legit do not have it any other way except either on its own, and I rarely have it on its own now. But majority of the time, the way that I like to have my kimchi is with my scrambled eggs. I like having it for breakfast just because I'm getting the protein from the eggs and then I'm also getting the good gut health bacteria from the kimchi. The next nutrient-rich item that I get from Walmart is frozen blueberries. So this is one to where if I don't have time to go to Costco and I really need some blueberries, then I just get the frozen one from Walmart. But when it comes to any type of berries, I just get frozen. I personally like getting frozen because anytime when I've bought fresh blueberries, especially when I was in New York and I would get fresh blueberries, they would always go bad because I wasn't using them in time. And those things are expensive. Blueberries, strawberries, I never really bought raspberries, but blueberries and strawberries are quite pricey, especially when you get them organic. So one thing that I just like doing is getting them frozen instead. I don't find any purpose of me getting it fresh and then freezing it if I could just get it frozen and organic at the same time. So I occasionally get frozen organic blueberries from Walmart just because I could add it to my smoothies. I could add it to mainly my yogurt is what I use it for. And if I'm having some type of overnight oats randomly, then I could add it to that. But I always like getting frozen as opposed to fresh just because it's able to last longer. And when it comes to like adding it to something, I just usually like rinse it under cold water for a minute or two and then add it to whatever I'm having it with. The next thing that I get is tahini. So I have like not a love-hate relationship with tahini, but I have like a learning to like you relationship with tahini. When it comes to tahini, I'm trying to learn how to make a good dressing with tahini. I found like a couple I'm okay with having, but the main reason why I have the tahini was for one, when I would make my hummus, and I haven't really made it that often. I'm thinking of making it soon, which is why I got it again. But I mainly have the tahini for when I'm making a hummus, but I'm also trying to use it as a salad dressing. So I've been playing around with different types of like sauces that I could make using the tahini. And I also ended up like finding I think at this point, I don't know if everyone's seen it at this point, but it's been going pretty viral lately of like a date Snickers. And I made that one time using peanut butter, but someone also stated that they use tahini for it. So I'm like, okay, the date is already sweet. I wonder what it would taste like with using tahini. So my goal is to try it with tahini to see if like I still like it. But I really like getting tahini because it's really good when it comes to nutrients and it's a healthier alternative as to using mayo. So I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate that more into my diet when it comes to certain things. The next nutrient-rich item that I get is chia seeds. I really love chia seeds. I always like when I eat something a lot that I never had as a child. So I didn't even know chia seeds existed. I never knew what chia seeds were. And it wasn't until I had gone vegan back in 2019, no longer vegan, a lot of what they kept mentioning for omega-3 substitute from salmon is to have chia seeds or flax seeds. Now, I've tried flax seeds in the past. I've tried having flaxseed meal. I've tried incorporating that, but I found that it was much more harder for me to actually enjoy that as opposed to chia seeds. So when it comes to my chia seeds, I use this in anything that I can. So I mainly add it to like my yogurt. I'll add it to my smoothies. If I'm baking any type of banana muffins, I'll add it to that. If I'm making any type of banana cookies or almond flour cookies, and I'll add it to that. My granola, like I'll find different ways of adding my chia seeds to any type of baked dish that I'm having, just because you don't really taste it and you still get the nutrients from it. It's just a easy addition of increasing my omega-3s without really tasting anything and still getting the benefits from it. The next item that I often get is the pasture raised organic eggs. The only time I get a different type of brand of eggs is if I cannot find the pasture raised ones anywhere. But I prefer getting the pasture raised organic. Sometimes I could just get the regular pasture eggs if I really don't feel like spending $12 for the organic ones. Honestly, I never really thought I would be paying that much for eggs. Like never in my life did I ever think I would be paying that much for eggs. And I mainly just have my eggs for breakfast. If I have like a bowl, I'll add it to my bowl, have it scrambled, boiled. There's just many different ways that I tend to have eggs, and I tend to have it at least like 5 to 6 days a week. Another item that I'm super happy that Walmart has is organic almond milk and organic oat milk. So I'm just going to put this as one just because there's really no difference. But I like getting the organic almond milk and oat milk, mainly because, again, when I was vegan, like I was getting just the regular one. And I found it annoying because it didn't really click to me until someone had mentioned it, I think in like a video or something, of the ingredients in the almond milk and oat milk. And so that's when I started paying attention to looking at the ingredients in almond milk and oat milk. To me, I'm like, well, it's just almonds and oats. Like it really shouldn't have anything else in it. But then when I was looking at the ingredients and the ones that I was getting, I was like, what the hell is this? So one thing that I've actually fallen in love with is the fact of like they have an organic one, because I went through like this phase of just making my own milk. And although it definitely tastes good and it tastes light, I just don't have the energy to do that. There's certain things that I have the energy for of wanting to do, and then there's certain things that I do not have the energy for of wanting to do. Learning to grow my own vegetables, I have the energy of learning to do it, but I keep killing them. So I'm working my way up one at a time. And when it comes to making certain things from scratch, I have the means of wanting to do that. Like I love baking my own muffins and granola. But when it comes to something of making oat milk, I think because it requires much more intricate cleaning of like the nut bag, that's where I'm just like, I don't have the energy of doing. And then soaking it, anything where it requires of like soaking overnight, where it requires just like a little bit more time than I want to spend, then I tend to just not want to do it. So when it came to the making of like the oat milk and almond milk, I enjoyed the process. I don't think I made almond milk because I think you have to like blanch the almonds, but I did make oat milk and cashew milk. Those two I really actually enjoyed of making my own, but you don't get a lot. Like the amount of work that it took of me making it was gone in like 2.5 days between me and my boyfriend. So I'm just like, I'm not doing that. And so I'm really happy that Walmart has the organic oat milk and almond milk, because the ingredients are just as simple as they should be. And, you know, I'm willing to pay the price because I do not feel like making it. Maybe in the future I will, but right now I just don't feel like making it. But that is a really great alternative when it comes to me adding it to my smoothies, adding it to my cappuccino, adding it to my baked dishes that I make. I just like getting the organic one as opposed to getting the regular one. The next one is Kerrygold grass-fed butter. I learned a lot when I had gone plant-based. And what I mean by that is like realizing of not everything having plant-based and vegan on it does not necessarily mean it is healthier. So during the time that I was plant-based, one of the butters that I would always get was Earth Balance butter, because it was vegan, plant-based, whatever you want to call it. And I would get that butter, and I liked it because it like resembled the texture and the taste of butter. But then I ended up having this like thing come to my brain of like, look at what's actually in the butter. And I think it was, again, something that I was listening to, and they were talking about how vegan butter is basically solidified oils. And then I was like, no, not my butter. And then I turned to the back of my butter container, and I think I had just bought a new one of them. So that's where I was like, so I really want to look at this, and then realized that I had just bought a new one. And then I turned it around, and it's basically solidified oils. And that's when I was starting to transition into eating more animal-based products again. And so one thing that I just do now is just get the Kerrygold grass-fed butter. I have noticed a difference when it comes to digestion, because when I was using the plant-based butter for when I was having like my popcorn, I would always have an upset stomach. And I legit thought it was the popcorn. And I remember I was like traveling with Kevin for his job, and I was just going to leave the popcorn kernels there for someone else to have, because I'm like, every single time I eat popcorn, it upsets my stomach. But one thing that I thought about was like, you know what, let me try of having the popcorn kernels with the grass-fed butter to see if my body reacts the same way. And it did not. So I almost gave away like a goddamn $8 container worth of popcorn kernels when it was really the butter causing the issue. The next nutrient dense item that I get is a new one to my household, and it is cottage cheese. So honestly, just the term of cottage cheese sounds nasty, and the look of cottage cheese doesn't sound that great, but it's actually not bad. Now, I haven't like experimented with that many recipes yet. The only way that I eat it right now is having it on Ezekiel English muffin with avocado, with the cottage cheese, some dried cranberries, and a drizzle of honey with some eggs on the side. Like, that is how I have it. I have tried it to where I add cottage cheese to the scrambled eggs. For some reason, I just didn't like that. Maybe I'll try it again, but I just didn't like that combination. I prefer just adding almond milk to my scrambled eggs. But I do like having cottage cheese on some toast. Like, cottage cheese on toast with a drizzle of honey with some dried cranberries is absolutely delicious. And it's very filling. So another item that I really like getting is cottage cheese, especially also because it's very high in protein. So it looks like we're just in a dairy type of list right now, and it is Greek yogurt. Before I had gone plant-based, that was something that I would get a lot often, was getting Greek yogurt. And now I fluctuate between the two. Like, if I have time to go to Trader Joe's, I get the Trader Joe's yogurt from there, but for the most part, I mainly just stick to the Greek yogurt because I like that it's high in protein. I like that I could incorporate it in a lot of things. I'm also trying to think of different type of dessert recipes that I could have with it. Lately, one snack that I've been having when it comes to Greek yogurt is having dates with Greek yogurt. So you open up the date, you put some Greek yogurt in it, you drizzle some honey on it, and I like putting apple spice on it, but you could also put cinnamon on it, and it is delicious. You get the protein from the yogurt, you get the fiber from the dates, you get the sweetness from all of it. It is delicious. It is like one of like my favorite go-to snacks, because usually I was doing dates with peanut butter, but then the peanut butter is very heavy sometimes. So I wanted to have like another alternative option, especially something where it would increase my protein intake a little bit more. So I've found that adding Greek yogurt to the date, I think I found it somewhere, and I was just like, thank you, ma'am, for this recipe, and it's delicious. So for the most part, when it comes to my Greek yogurt, I mainly just have it as it is. I just have the Greek yogurt with some blueberries, some granola, some chia seeds. And now that I have my snack option, I have it that way. But I do like that Walmart has the Greek yogurt that I enjoy eating, just because it's a way of increasing my protein, high in nutrients, and it's a great way of just adding to my daily diet. And the last nutrient-dense item that I get is Justin's peanut butter. So I know some people may not consider peanut butter healthy. To me, I consider it healthy. I just don't eat it in excess because I do believe it's high in fat. So I'm just cautious of how I eat it. But when it comes to peanut butter, I am very specific on the types of peanut butters that I get. And lately, the only peanut butter that I get is Justin's. However, I did recently find a new peanut butter that I'm going to be trying that I recently just bought. I haven't used it yet. I haven't opened it yet. The main reason why I got it was the fact that I like that the only ingredient is peanuts. Like with Justin's, the ingredients is peanuts and palm oil. This one, on the other hand, doesn't have any palm oil in it. It is literally just the peanuts. So I'm really excited to try it and see what it tastes like, because if it does taste better, I'm going to be getting this brand because it also is cheaper and it has less ingredients. So I feel like it's a win-win all around. But I'm just much more careful of the types of peanut butter that I get rather than just not eating peanut butter at all. So those are the nutrient-rich, nutrient-dense foods that I tend to buy from Walmart that help me manage my weight and help me with a balanced eating. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know if any of these things are things that you tend to buy, or if there's something that I didn't mention on this list that you tend to buy from Walmart and really enjoy and it's full of nutrients and I could probably add to my shopping list. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.